Hello, I'm Allyson. Welcome to TMN Television on Thursday, March 29th. Tonight we see a suicide survivor's recent speech to campus. We also hear about SAB's spring concert announcement. And later, stay tuned for the latest in sports. These stories and more tonight on TMN Television. You don't want to miss this. The Student Activities Board announced that it was bringing drum and fetty-wap for the spring concert April 14th. While SAB has been promoting the concert since February, it only made the announcement Tuesday, March 27th. Former SAB President Blake Bouthard says it waited to make the announcement because of the long contracting process, including getting permission from the artists to make promotional materials, which has to go through several agents. SAB Concert Committee Chair Hannah Smiles said that SAB wanted to bring in someone who had not previously performed at Truman and thought the two artists would appeal to a variety of music fans, allowing for more interest in the concert. The concert will be held in Pershing Arena, and tickets are currently on sale for $7. Truman State University's art department plans to add a photography concentration to its degree program next semester. Currently, there is a photography minor, and there was a photography major until the late 90s. The strong interest in a photography major and the availability of a professor led to the reinstatement of the concentration within the art major. Art Department Chair Aaron Fine said there was no resistance from the administration, and after submitting the plan to the dean's office, it was approved in 2 months. Fine said the process mostly consisted of reactivating old classes, and there was no need to add to department facilities or faculty to create the concentration. He said it could increase the number of art majors in the department. Kirksville Parks and Recreation Department is negotiating a contract with a team of consultants to plan the location, design, and construction of a new aquatic and community center. The City Council will decide to approve the consultants team at its April 2nd meeting. If approved, the Parks and Recreation Department will begin to receive input from the community and start to decide on a new location. Parks and Recreation Director Rodney Sadler says the process will begin next May, and the city plans to break ground the same month. He says the city would like to open the complex in May 2020. The complex would include an indoor pool, an outdoor pool, and a community center that could be used for weddings, club meetings, youth programming, and other things. Kevin Hines, a suicide survivor, spoke to the Kirksville community Tuesday, March 27th, about his struggle with mental health and suicide. Hines, who survived jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, spoke about his diagnosis of bipolar disorder, his adoption and birth family, his stays in mental wards and halfway houses, and his struggle to fight his mental illness. He spoke extensively about his suicide attempt and the things that led up to it, and included stories about people who did not survive, some of which were close friends. Hines talked to the audience about ways to help the people around them. He encouraged the audience to participate and interact with him during his speech. Hines said that he wanted to use his journey to help people who were struggling themselves and to remind them that there are people going through the same things and that there are ways to help prevent suicide. Next, stay tuned to hear about the recent milestone for softball. But before that, let's look at this week's forecast.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
The softball team has won 4 out of its last 6 games after splitting a doubleheader with Missouri University of Science and Technology. The first win in that stretch of games was a notable one for head coach Erin Brown, as that was her 300th win at Truman. Brown says she did not know number 300 was coming, but appreciated the support from all of her players. She says it would not have been possible without the number of years she has spent here and the players that have worn the purple and white. When she first started at Truman, Brown says she was not recruiting the wonderful women she has now that add to team chemistry chemistry as much as to the statistics. She says she has treated recruiting like a marriage, in that both sides have to be committed and that they need to stay together for multiple years. This has helped to build the successful teams in her tenure. Now that number 300 is out of the way, Brown says she can focus on finding success for her team this year.
This is the 46th team that Truman has had, and we kind of started doing that so that we separated last year's success or failures and then the future, like being in the present. And for me, like, it's much more about Team 46 and how do I get them to be successful and how do I get us to win games and what do we need to do to make those adjustments.
The baseball team opened GLVC play last weekend against William Jewell College. The Bulldogs lost 3 out of the 4 games, allowing first-inning runs in all 3 of the losses. Head coach Dan Davis says the team was not able to give its pitchers the defensive support they needed. He says the team is in a survival mode now, playing to the best of its ability before it can put together a winning streak. Davis says there were times that the team showed resilience, like when it was down by 7 runs in the 9th inning of the last game, but scored the necessary runs to tie it. The Bulldogs also came through in the second game with 2 runs in the 7th inning of a scoreless game, giving senior pitcher Kent France a program record 16th career win. The Bulldogs will look to begin a winning streak in a 4-game series this weekend against Drury University. The tennis teams also began their conference schedule last Friday against Quincy University. The men remained winless, losing 8-1, and the women moved to 2-5 on the season with a 6-3 win. Doubles pair senior Paul Province and freshman Arpit Sahu provided the men's only victory. Other men played close second sets only to lose them. Junior Griffin Turnage says the team can benefit from adjusting the lineup a little and working on its mental game. The women also won a doubles match courtesy of senior Lindsay Schlichting and a junior Maura Dunn. Each member of the pair also won their respective singles matches along with 3 other women. Both the men and women will play Rockhurst University tomorrow in Kansas City. The track and field team is eager to begin its outdoor season after having its first meet for last Saturday canceled. The Bulldogs entered the Central College Invitational in Iowa to compete in this week for a replacement meet. Head coach Tim Schwegler says the team usually performs better in the outdoor season. Schwegler says there are many events where he expects his athletes to perform well. The distance runners, sprinters, throwers, and pole vaulters are athletes that he has his eye on. One of the pole vaulters, sophomore Hannah Sells, had a good indoor season, but says she looks forward to the outdoor season. Sells says the warmer weather makes it easier to warm up and stay warm. The Bulldogs will travel to the Washington University Distance Carnival tomorrow in St. Louis. This has been your Truman Sports Update. Stay tuned after the break.
Got a quarter?
Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. For complete news coverage, be sure to stay tuned to KTRM and pick up a copy of the Index and check out our news content on tmn.truman.edu. You can also follow TMN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for breaking news updates. And if you missed part of our broadcast tonight, check out TMN TV on YouTube. If you've ever thought about being on TV, be sure to head on over to tmn.truman.edu/apply to fill out an application today. From all of us here at TMN, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.